Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Well, I'm sitting here in an airport close to the Albany Airport in New York. I'm waiting to get a flight back to the States in the morning. Just left Woodstock this morning, and it was an absolutely incredible experience. I just ate one of these. They let us take. They were giving away. If I'd had a car, they gave away so much fruit after the festival. People were taking cases away. So I had one of these big mangoes, and it was absolutely perfect. Got a couple of these little Martha's Best papayas. These things are magic, man. You need to check them out, Martha's Best. Anyhow, I wanted to talk today about a little bit about community and why you need to find yourself some community. Anyhow, I do videos every day, so if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button now. Click on the little bell and check send notifications. Yeah, man, I'm gonna be quite honest. This is one of the best. That was one of the best weeks of my life. I learned a lot about myself. I got a lot of clarity this week. I've figured out a few things, and I'm really honed in a direction I want to go. I think I might have mentioned it before. I've decided full on, and I need to keep saying it because then I'll look like an idiot if I don't do it. I'm writing 2 books. I'm starting when I get back. I've got a few things to do this week to get some things taken care of, but I'm set. You know, it was since I've been back from Costa Rica about 6 or 7 weeks ago. I've been getting stuff done, and I've been settling in. I've been getting my workspace set up, and I've done things. I've been actually quite productive, but it's still all been about waiting for Woodstock to happen. And now that that's over, I'm just digging in because there's nothing else. I don't see anything else on the horizon that I'm looking for, whatever. So it's time for me to settle into a routine, have a little bit of structure, a schedule, somewhat of a loose schedule, and get things done. I've talked to you guys. If you've watched me, you've heard me say many times that I'm a loner, and I've maybe gotten to that point where I don't even know if I can really do people all that much or be around, have a community or whatever. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm not exaggerating because I think you guys know I don't talk in flowery language and I don't exaggerate very much. There were about 600 people at that Woodstock Fruit Festival this week, and I did not, the whole week, it was just like you don't even quite understand. I was talking to somebody on the little shuttle coming back here today, and we were kind of laughing. It was like, you might as well not even try to tell people because it's not something you can actually convey unless you were there. A lot of people would be like, yeah, whatever. But there were 600 people there, and it was our people. I didn't see one bad vibe all week. I did not meet one person that I had questions about. We left things that we didn't have keys to our room. I had my door was unlocked all the time. I had my computer in there. I had various camera stuff. I had money in there. And everybody did likewise. People just left stuff sitting around, on the tables, out on the grounds, and whatever, and would come back. A couple of times I forgot where I left things, and I'm like, oh gosh, that'll be gone. And I'd go back 2 hours later, and it would be there. But in just every capacity, eating fruit with other people, there was no aggression. You didn't have to explain, oh yeah, that's a big salad, or oh yeah, I'm eating more fruit again. It was just everybody there got it. And it's if you've never had that experience before, it's absolutely amazing. I've had little bits of it. You've seen people come to visit me, and I've had some people, maybe I've spent a week at a time or so with people that eat like me, and we have a good time. But it's just even one-on-one or 2 or 3 people, which is fun. And actually, I would always want that kind of little intimate contact as well. But man, you just don't know when you're like around 600 people like this, just everybody happy, everybody vibing, and it was just all good. I went to a talk back earlier in the week. I think it was like the second day or something maybe, and it was Megan Elizabeth, Ted Carr, Megan's boyfriend Joey, guy named Ryan, who's a really smart guy. I learned some things from him too, and a guy named Charles. I wish I could give you more perspective on I'm just saying a guy named Charles. Really cool guy, all cool people. Really enjoyed them. Didn't know them at all. I've commented on Megan's videos before and I've communicated a little bit. But anyway, their talk was on community, and they talked a little bit about how their community had come together. How it just kind of had happened organically. One moved over there, and it's a friend thing. It's a very tight knit. It's a friend family that's kind of spun out. But I'm not really here to talk about just that particular aspect of it. But this week kind of gave me a little bit of a different perspective that, okay, yeah, ma'am, it's like I don't necessarily want to just step out into the world and just be around any people, and I don't want to deal with the negative vibes and arguing and talking politics and religion and all that BS and, everything just always being aggression and argument. So, I've been thinking people are always saying, and before anybody says anything, I'm not saying, you've got to uproot your life necessarily. You don't have to pick up and move somewhere where where there's all people like us, although that is what I'm striving for. I've learned now, and maybe it's realistic in my life, maybe it's not in other people's life, but I want to be around my kind. I want to be around people that thrive, that are vibrant, that make me happy, So, but maybe not everybody's going to do it. So do what you can on your level. People are always talking about how they're struggling. I don't have any community. Well, do something. Do something within your little community. Everybody. I met people, and if you're going to say, well, there's nobody in my state or whatever. I met people from Minnesota. I don't know how many people I met from Minnesota. I don't know how many people I met from states where you would think there's not going to be any community there. Look, we have so many opportunities to reach out to people with this internet thing we have these days. One site I'm going to look to is called meetup.com. And like I say, some of this stuff I'm just coming straight from that talk, but it's also translated through the things that I want to do and what I'm doing, where I'm going to take this. Go to meetup.com or go to anywhere you can put out a message if you've got some sort of a way to get the word out in your community. Do a fruit look. Do a simple fruit look. You don't have to make it, make it simple enough, especially in the beginning, to where if nobody shows up, let's say you put a notice out on meetup.com or somewhere else. You say fruit luck this Saturday at such and such time at this location. If nobody shows up, so what? Do it again. Maybe one person shows up, maybe two people shows up, and that doesn't sound like a lot of people, but that's two people more than you had in your community before. This lifestyle could be so much easier. When we were at Woodstock, it was just I was eating salads at night, so I won't say I'm completely fruitarian, but we were just eating absolutely pristine, clean. Okay, some of the dressings at night, yeah, they had some fat in them, and I wanted to splurge a little bit and have some good tasting stuff because Chris Kendall and Miss Naturally Ashley were making those dressings, but they had choices every night too. They had it was really tight. They had some ones like there was an avocado lime one I really liked the last night, but they also had another one that was like probably no fat. This was spicy Thai papaya chili, but anyhow, it was just. Even people that aren't raw vegan. Now, there were a few people that said, yeah, it was a little bit, it was kind of a little bit tough at times sometimes, or sometimes maybe I thought I wanted something else. But when you're in that environment, you're not really struggling on this lifestyle. You got other people to talk about with it. You've got other people doing it like you, and there's just not there's not anything else to distract you from that. Now, like I say, no, not everybody. You're not, I'm not saying you're never going to have distractions because everybody has their own life. I'm not, you're not going to drop everybody in your life just to go be with another tribe of people. Me, I'm kind of fortunate in that capacity. I don't have people. From being a vagabond, it's not really like, for me to decide what I want to do now and to go out and find that and get that. It's not like I'm dropping people in my life or avoiding people in my life. I've been a damn loner for so long and moved from place to place and moved on, where you didn't quite keep up with people, or you do keep up with people on a certain level. But yeah, I don't have that. So if I'm going to start over, if I'm going to be around people, which I would like to a little bit in the future, I want to be around the people that I want to be around. I think that support is so important. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. It's almost, it doesn't make a lot of sense if you are the only person doing this thing and there's nobody else around you. That's isolated, that's lonely. Now, we do what we can do. And once again, with this great thing called the internet, if you can't, do something local in your area, live in person, find yourself a community online. And I'm not necessarily talking about groups, Facebook groups or forums or things like that. Those are real contentious places. Most of those places, even if they're about fruit and eating raw vegan and plant-based, they got bad vibes in there. It's like in that kind of a forum, most people, all they want to do is just like bicker back and forth. I know more about you. I know more than you about this lifestyle, or I'm smarter than you and I know this. And they always try to impress you with their little micro knowledge of everything in there. You don't have to even fool with that. You could do something as small as everybody can create a Facebook group. Did you know that? You should. Everybody can create a Facebook group. Create a Facebook group if your name is Sally's Fruit Eaters. And then you just add one by one by one. You're not trying to grow a group like people on Facebook. You can make it a closed group. You can make it a closed group where even if people search terms, nobody will ever find you. And you handpick people one by one by one. If you're in Florida and you know somebody up in Philadelphia and you really connect them, you really like them, maybe they're people you talk with on Messenger one-on-one. You say, hey, why don't you join my fruit group or my vegan group or my plant-based group, whatever you want to call it, and you add them. And then you little by little, you pick another. Your group, like I say, you're not trying to grow numbers because it's some, business or some commercial thing or even like a cause or whatever. You're just trying to build your personal little group, a little family, so to speak. So, little by little, I don't think it would take a whole lot before you had 10 people on there. And treat that like it's a real community. If you don't have that community in your day-to-day, treat that and be serious with it like it's a real community. Get close to these people. Talk about the problems that you have as a raw vegan or plant-based where you're living. Share recipes, share knowledge, give each other support. If somebody's struggling, in a group like that, people always talk about, oh, well, I was just sitting around doing this and I spun out of control, or I ate this and I did this. Why didn't you talk to somebody? Why didn't you go online, and reach out somewhere? You could do that if you had like a little group like that was a tight knit, almost like a family, and you guys support each other. But anyhow, that's just some thoughts. I'm just kind of decompressing here in this little hotel, and I had written a few notes on that a couple of days ago, and I just thought I would share that with you. Anyhow, it was just a great week. I love this shirt here. I'm liking how these colors at the top show up. This is Chris Kendall's Peace, Love, and Seasonal Fruit. I was happy to get one of these. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe give you something to think about. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again tomorrow, and I'll be back in Bama. Peace.